Hey, family, an absolute delight during Super Bowl week to be joined by one of them ones, a dude who got 21 sacks through 2 years, Aiden Hutchinson. He a beast, he a monster, he a dog. What else you want to know? Aiden, welcome to Speak, my guy. How you living?
Wow, I love getting gassed up like that, man. You're really getting my ego up right now. But no, I'm good, man. How are you doing?
My dog, it's all good. Well, I gotta paint this picture because before you were this intimidating beast, getting 11 and a half sacks on the football field, maybe a picture you haven't seen in a mighty long time. Can we throw it on the screen for the viewers and for Aiden? Before he was that man, there was this man. Shall we just
don't say a chubby picture?
Oh God! Oh God!
No! For those that don't know, Aiden was a hip-hop ballet youngster. Talk to me now.
Mainly hip-hop, man. They forced me to do a little ballet while I was there, but mainly hip-hop. I was popping and locking it and doing everything, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a little Slim
Shady. Well, Aiden, let me ask you this as we transition the ball for a second. Y'all had a phenomenal season, really a phenomenal season. Obviously, y'all fell short, but shout out to the season that you had personally. Shout out to the season that y'all had collectively. What was the difference this year? What specifically clicked, Big Dog, that allowed you all to go further than y'all have gone in 3 decades?
You know, I think the way that this team, we all responded to adversity this year. I mean, it was Dan's 3rd year, I believe, with Detroit, and I feel like we all bought in to his message and what he was all about. And he invited adversity, and that's what I love most about Dan is he looks that in the face and he's just like, bring it on, man. And I feel like. As you guys know, throughout an NFL season, there's a lot of ups and downs, and I feel like having a guy like that in, as a leader on our team is very. It's good to have him, set the standard and really set the foundation for our team.
Aiden, I feel like I advocate for Jared Goff a lot on this show. We have a lot of conversations about him, but he doesn't really get put into the conversation at the top of the league. And I think he had a really nice season and is a very talented guy. Why do you think he gets ignored in the conversations?
You know, I feel like sometimes, but guys have these stereotypes, and it's hard to break them, man. And despite how much you're balling out or how much you're doing this and that, sometimes a media stereotype will just pin you a certain way, and that's the unfortunate thing about this business. But I think year after year, he's doing everything he can to prove the doubters wrong and prove himself right.
Aiden, you're in Vegas for the Super Bowl. You played both these teams. You played the Kansas City Chiefs really early in the season, I believe week 1, and you played the Niners in the playoffs. Who do you give the early edge to playing both of these teams? Who do you get the early edge to in this football game?
Man, yeah, people keep asking me, and it's going to be a tight one, man. I think this is going to go down to like a game-winning field goal. Both have great defenses, and I feel like obviously San Fran, that offense is going to run through McCaffrey, and I feel like if Chiefs can stop the run, they're going to have a lot of success throughout the game. And yeah, it's tough though, man. It's tough to say. I'm not sure.
As he didn't tell us. First of all, I got to use some love. That jacket is mean. I don't know if you get paid for it or your stylist picked it. I love it. It's really nice. Now, I'm going to cut straight to the chase here. I ain't going to mess around with you. I had a quick story with Andy Reid. That's one of my coaches in Philadelphia. One of my favorite coaches now. Is the best coach in football existing right now. But there was times where they wouldn't give me the ball, right? Mike Vick's throwing the ball. We winning the game. And I just one day, I would just think like, Coach, why you not giving me the ball? So I want to ask you with Dan Campbell, the game gets the Niners. If he just takes these field goals, play it safe, play it smart, I think you guys win. Do you ever just sit there and think about, Coach, why you didn't kick the field goal?
If you live by the sword, you die by the sword. We've been aggressive all year long, and that's won us a lot of games. And just because it didn't work in a critical moment doesn't mean that he made a bad decision. I think he was just sticking with our identity. And I know he received a lot of whatever you call it, a lot of crap in social media for it. But no, he's. I think we all stand by him. We all stand by him because that's our identity, and that's his identity too.
Well, let me soften it a little bit. You guys did have a great season this year and did something that hasn't happened in a very long time in that city. And I know Detroit and I know the fans were going crazy, but what was that experience for you guys as the players in a city that really supports and lives with that team to be able to bring that kind of success to the Detroit Lions after all that time?
It's ridiculous. It was amazing. I mean, the city, when we were winning playoff games, wild card, divisional, I mean, on our way to the NFC Championship, I don't think I've ever heard a crowd as loud in a home stadium. I think our stadium's only got about 60 or 65,000, and I think it was one of the loudest crowds I've ever been a part. And you could feel the city. You could feel the city of Detroit and how bought in they were. And I mean, we were at the San Fran game and. For the NFC Championship, and the crowd, all the Lions fans were cheering Jared Goff, like Jared Goff in the second quarter. And I'm like, this is not normal. You don't get this at an NFC Championship and at an away game. It was wild. It was wild.
Hey, bro, after your sacks, you usually hit a quick dance, you know what I'm saying? You hit a move or two. Do you prep this during the week, or do you just let it come to you in real time? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you already think, okay, when I sack Purdy, here's what I'm going to hit him with? I mean, you are the dancer.
Hey.
I used to plan them earlier in the season, but by the end, it kind of got to I was just freestyling, and I feel like yeah, I know that was our Halloween dance right there. And I feel like it's gotten to a point where I'm just out there. I just do some stuff, and I don't even know what I'm doing anymore, dude. I'm just out here. I don't even know.
Hey, when you get 11.5 sacks, it's hard to choreograph that many. All right, after the game, your coach said it's going to be hard for us to get back. Dan Campbell went to the podium. He said, look, I loved it. He was like, it's going to be very hard for us to get back. We're not going to have the same team. It's a really challenging road. It's a difficult road. Do you already think about that? Like, after you lost and you were eliminated, what was the first thing that went through Aiden Hutchinson's mind? In the locker room, first thing.
I was just so pissed off, dude, that we let that lead up. That was what kept circulating in my mind. But no, Dan came back in meetings the next day, and he's like, I don't care what it takes. We're going to the Super Bowl next year. And I think all the guys were loving it, man. I was loving it because it's like, I feel like right when you lose that game, you're like, wow, it took a lot to get here. But the next day you can kind of collect your thoughts and get back to it. And you're like, dude, screw it, man. We're going to have a lot of the same pieces next year. We're going to do this thing.
Aiden, you guys seem like a close bunch because, I mean, I would still be mad. I wouldn't go on Twitter or none of that or X or whatever it is and blast my coach. But I sure be telling my family, man, listen here, buddy should have kicked the field goal. But you guys are a really close bunch. And I just want to touch on your offensive coordinator had some opportunities to go get another job. And he said, forget all that. I'm staying in Detroit. What does that mean to you guys knowing that, hey, man, he could have went, made more money, made a bigger name for himself, and he said, no, I'm staying here in Detroit. The job ain't finished.
Yeah, that's what's great. I mean, actions speak a lot louder than words, and you can just tell coordinators, players, coaches, we all believe in what we have. We all believe that this team can win a Super Bowl. And we came up a little bit short this year, and I think we all just want to reload it and run it back and kind of with a lot of the same core pieces.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.